Hey y'all, I want to show you something about this simplified King James Version Bible. I had it for quite a while and I put this on it. A publisher altered Bible compared to King James Version. Somebody might say, well, that is the King James Version. It's just simplified. No, not really. Because, first of all, Barber is the one that published it, just to point that out. First of all, if you go on the back here, it tells you the King James Version of the Bible has stood the test of time. It's talking about this Bible. This is the King James Version. Now it's catching up with the times. Okay. Now it's catching up with the times. Barber simplified King James Version builds off the familiarity and trustworthiness of the King James Bible while removing the difficulties in antiquated language and punctuation, keeping all the original translation work of the 1611 Bible. The simplified King James Version carefully updates old styles that may interfere with your understanding today. Okay, hold on. Anyways, its outdated verb styles are refreshed. For example, art becomes are, gaves becomes gave. Old forms of addresses like thee, thou, and ye are updated. Confusing older terms such as wroth or diverse are modernized, but it says confusing. Okay, but the King James Version of the Bible has stood the test of time. Okay, but they call it confusing. Okay, isn't that weird? Pronouns for God, he, his, him, you, yours, me, and my are capitalized for clarity. Quotation marks are included with spoken language. Long-term sentences are shortened with modern punctuation. Paragraphs are added throughout. The simplified King James Version maintains the feel of the original King James while markedly increasing its readability, bringing the trustworthy old translation into the 21st century. But the older terms were confusing, right? But it's the readability, increasing its readability. But it has stood the test of time. But it's confusing. Isn't that something? So no matter where you go in this simplified King James Version Bible, and of course that's what I put in it. That's my little stamp. See that? No matter where you go in it, you see it's not talking like the King James Version. Matter of fact, if you read this simplified King James Version Bible, you would mistaken it for another Bible version and not the King James Version, because it doesn't speak or talk like the original King James Version. You see no thou, thee, knowest, wast, or anything like that in there. Just like the very same things that said it's taken out to make it easier to read, but yet some of those older terms were confusing, and yet it has stood the test of time. Well, if it stood the test of time and is easier to read, what's so confusing about the terms? Right? Wroth, it means wrath. Diverse means different. All you got to do is look at the word in the surrounding text. So what makes it so hard? So you're going to call this a simplified King James Version Bible, and you got nothing in here to indicate it was even like the King James Version Bible? I mean, my gosh. The things that make it the King James Version Bible are gone. They took it out. They even said they took it out. Before you even read the Bible, they said they took it out. And this, the authorized version, the King James Version, was thee, thou, and thee, and all these other things are not in here, which make it the King James Version Bible, because the what's, the EST, the ST, the things like that, second person, third person forms of words indicate to us what time period or whenever the sentence was being talked about. The words were being spoken rather. And the reference to the past, present, or future tenses. All those things are taken out of this so-called simplified King James Version Bible. This is a particularly different Bible from the Authorized Version. It is not the Simplified King James Version Bible. It's another Bible with the King James Version Bible's name. Just kind of like Jimmy Swaggart's Expositor's Bible is the same thing. It's another Bible with the King James Version name on it. That's all it is. So if you're going to take out all these words and call it one time, oh, it stood the test of time, we love, it's beloved, and all this, that, and the other, or it's the maintains the original King James Version, markedly increasing its readability. Oh, that's a bunch of bull right there. And this right here, it really says it for me. Old forms, confusing older terms, archaic stuff. Some of these words people still do use. Whereas this and that and the other, if you see a government, or if you see a governor's proclamation and all that stuff, let me show you for one example. See, I'm a notary public, and I got this thing, and they're still using these words. Now, therefore, in the witness whereof, affixed my hand, or affixed whatever, our hand. All these things, all these words are still being used today, because it's legal stuff, yeah, but it's still being used. It's a language of the legal state, legal language rather, but it's still being used. To all who shall see shall's being used, presents, greetings, all those words are still being used today. This is the King James Version Bible. Okay, like right here, O God, when thou wentest before the people, before thy people, when thou didst march through the wilderness, Selah. This doesn't have that. So this therefore can't be a King James Version Bible. It's the Barber version of what they say is the King James Version Bible, but it is not the actual King James Version simplified. It's just another reinterpretation of what this says. It's no better than an NASB. It's no better than an NIV or NLT or the rest of them.